A joyful flow, not just for prenatal. See how it feels in your body. Welcome to Healthy Happy Yoga. Breathe in what you most want to feel in this moment. Breathe out a sense of spaciousness. And make your way up onto your knees or shins. You can use some padding under your knees. One foot out to the side. We'll make our way into a gate pose, sliding your hand down your outer leg. Top arm coming up, and circle that top hand on your wrist, please. When you're ready, inhale up, and now your extended leg, bending the knee and turning your hip out. Find a place where your knee is above your heel, and then take your forearm to that thigh. Other arm up and over for another side bend. Then taking your hand to the back of your head, inhale your elbow up, and exhale, dip it forward, pressing your head back into your hand, especially as you come up. Lifting up, and now we'll take that same hand out to the side, coming into a modified side plank. You can use a block under your hand if you prefer. Lift your top hip, top arm, reach up and over. Now we'll experiment with inhaling and exhaling, elbow and knee up and towards each other to feel a little crunching in your side body. So you lengthen your side body and then you exhale and draw your elbow and knee towards the ceiling and towards each other. Keep it within your comfort zone. Do have fun. Maybe a total of 5 times. Then lengthen your foot into the floor and come onto all fours. And you can start to move in a cat and cow, rounding and arching your spine. And see what other movements your spine wants to make right now, following your breath rhythm. And then we'll make our way back up onto shins. Make sure your knees feel all right, and take the other foot gently out to the side. Come into your gate pose, getting your side body long, breathing into your side ribs, and as you're ready, circling your top hand on your wrist. This brings blood flow up into the extremities and also prepares the wrist for when there will be a little pressure on it, a little weight bearing. So bending the knee of your extended leg, have your knee above your heel and turn your hip out. And then let your forearm come down onto that thigh like a shelf. Relax your bottom hand and top arm again up and over. Then you can bend your elbow, take your hand to the back of your head. Elbow up, inhale, and exhale, dip your elbow and shoulder a little forward. So we're not pulling on the head. Your head is pressing back and cradle gently in your hand. Jaw soft. And you might feel this just under your shoulder blade. Then lift up your head, take your hand out to the side, and make your way to a side plank variation. So you'll lengthen your foot into the floor, your arm up and over, feeling a little lift in the lower belly. Inhale here and exhale, elbow and knee up and towards each other. Take your time with this, have fun with it. Nothing serious or essential in this practice. You listen to your body and make sure it's feeling appropriate for your current range of motion. Make your way back to all fours. And again, let your intuition guide the movement of your spine. You might go up and down again, or you might explore a little side to side, or a circling action with your ribs. Making sure you're breathing. So if you are pregnant, taking baby for a ride like this every day is a great idea. Any kind of all fours position, especially giving you the opportunity to take pressure off your spine and encourage baby into a good position. Then turning your toes under, we'll walk our hands back until we get a toe stretch that is tolerable and interesting. And then come back to all fours and slap the tops of your feet a few times. Maybe circle your feet. And then you could experiment with coming into a gentle downward facing dog. If you're more than 36 weeks, you might want to skip the downward dog, or if it causes you any nausea or discomfort, stick with your all fours position, taking one foot back and then the other. We'll take left knee down, right leg back. Maybe your foot comes off the floor if that's appropriate. And then slide your foot to the outside of your right hand. This is a great place for blocks if they're available. Then slide your right hand up to your right thigh, and you can keep your knee down, or you can lift up that back knee, turning your toes under, finding a gentle twist to your right. You're welcome to use a block under your left hand, and maybe reach your right arm up. Long line from heel to crown, and then bringing your right hand inside of your right foot. You could definitely bring your back knee down and then start to draw your hips back. And if your back knee is down, take your toes up and start to circle your foot on your ankle. Let's see how this feels for you, for not only your ankle, but also the back of your leg. Then we'll try lifting back knee. You can also do this with knee down. Slide your right arm under your right leg, under your right thigh, and with both hands, experiment with holding your right ankle. Keep your head relaxed. Breathe. Then we'll come onto fingertips, and we'll step back foot forward, making your way into a comfortable squat. So it may be that your comfortable squat, you have something under your heels. It may be that your comfortable squat, you're up much higher, or you're sitting on a stool. So then I'm taking it back to downward dog. You might be walking it back to all fours. And eventually we'll bring right knee down and left leg up and back. Breathing in there. And then as you're ready, draw your left foot to the outside of your left hand, finding a comfortable lunge. Left hand up to left thigh. You can decide if your back knee is up or down. And then in your own time, you can find the gentle twist to the left within your range of motion. Knowing you could have a block under that right hand. Anytime. Right knee down, start to draw your hips back until your left leg is straight or almost straight. Take your time finding that hamstring stretch, and then circling your left foot on your ankle. Notice how this changes things all the way up into your hip. Coming back to that lunge with hands inside of your left foot. Back knee can stay down or come up, and then plant your foot. Slide your left arm under your left thigh so your shoulder is hugging in towards your inner leg. Then hold your left ankle with one hand or both. You can isometrically hug your feet gently towards each other here. And then please unwind. Walk your hands around to one side and find a forward fold that's comfortable. This is another great place to use blocks. And in your own time, start to bend your knees, turn your toes out a little, and move your hands up to your thighs. When you come up, inhale. Make sure you feel steady. Then arms out, bend your elbows, straighten your legs, and coming into a warrior two, bending one knee, and reach your arms out, gazing over your front fingers. Solid through both feet, and then front elbow to your inner front thigh. can experiment with that and then ease your way out from there and find your way to warrior two on the other side. So feel the strength through both legs. Then bend your front elbow, bring it inside of your thigh and press in with your top hand. For a moment, ease up and out. Come back to your wide squat, your goddess squat. And from there to stand. Hands are on hips, hugging towards each other. Keep length in your lower spine. Arc up and back, and then tilt from your pelvis forward any amount that feels good. So I'm holding my toes. You certainly don't have to do that. You can have hands on blocks. If you are holding your toes, give them a little rub. Take your elbows out at right angles. And make sure there's space between your shoulders and ears. Just going to walk both hands towards left foot and then come back to a child's pose. And this child's pose you can modify in your own way. Maybe you want to have knees apart. I'm using a pillow between my thighs and belly for a little extra comfort and support. And then bending my elbows so I can reach for my neck and upper shoulders, giving them a nice rub. Take a breath here. Feel free to support under your forehead with a block. Take your time rubbing all the way up to the base of your skull. And then as you're ready, you could see if bringing elbows down, hips right above knees, and coming into a heart chakra pose or puppy pose, also known as Anahatasana, feels nice for you. So this is a big chest opener. We do want to keep a little lift in lower belly to protect lower back. And then from there, you can either stay in the puppy pose, or you can experiment with a dolphin pose. So forearms would be pressing down and hips drawing up and back, kind of like downward dog except on your elbows. Make sure your elbows are close together. And then you can possibly bring one leg up as you inhale, exhale that leg down, inhale the other leg up, and then exhale down. So I'm lifting my chin each time the leg comes up. This reminds my spine that this is a back bend, a gentle back bend, but still a back bend, and keeps me from collapsing into my head. From there back, walking your hands all the way back towards your feet and even behind your hips. You can stay sitting on your feet, or you can lift your hips forward and up, really activating the back of your body. Don't worry about hanging your head back. You can keep your chin in. Focus on the strength in the back of your pelvis and back of your legs. And then anytime, make your way just sitting, and sit on one side of your feet. So we'll do a little mermaid pose here. A very gentle open twist that is usually safe during pregnancy. So I'm turning away from my feet and knees, keeping length through spine, ears back above shoulders, and then looking back eventually towards feet. And then we'll take it over, take your mermaid fin over to the other side. So finding that gentle spiral of your spine only as far as it wants to go. Heart draws around, and then your head can look back towards your feet for a moment. Give me a nice release for the side of your neck. From there, we'll release out. You can shake out a little bit. And then we'll try a tabletop. So bend your knees, feet on the ground, root down through your hands and feet, and lift up your pelvis like you're making a strong table. Keep breathing here, and anytime lower back down. You can experiment with going up and down a few times, or if you're done, let yourself be done. So I'm using a little support as I come into my Tarasana star pose. Feet far away from pelvis and soles of feet together. And I do have my arms reaching under my knees, but you don't have to do that, only if it feels good. I just want you to feel supported and cozy, and only go as far forward as your spine comfortably allows. From there, rising up as you feel ready, and making your way to a wide-legged position. I'm using the pillow for a little extra support under my hips. I encourage you to do that, something like that. And really feel your seat rooting down. Then you can start to tip your pelvis forward, grounding through the backs of your legs strongly. Take your toes up towards the ceiling. And this is a great place to really feel your pelvic floor and notice what's going on there while breathing. So we're never forcing in positions like this, especially during pregnancy. We're looser, but we don't want to exploit that flexibility. Keep it within your comfort zone and breathe. Anytime, use an inhale to ease your way up. And find that nice long spine. And settle down through your sitting bones. And then anytime, lean back, slide your feet in. And we'll separate feet as wide as the mat or a little wider than hips. And you can try a little side-to-side action of your knees, like windshield wipers going side to side. I would encourage you to inhale, knees up, and exhale, knees to the other side. And your back arm might eventually feel like it can follow your spine around in the same direction as your knees. And when you feel done with that, make your way into a comfortable reclined pose. We're moving towards deep relaxation, so find any props that would make your relaxation more easeful, more luxurious. You might be stacking your shins, or you might be using some props under your top shin, letting your bottom shin or your bottom leg extend long. Notice the parts of your body that are touching the floor and let them really surrender. Always make any adjustments during your relaxation so that you feel really cozy and held, supported, and sublimely comfortable. And if during pregnancy it's just super hard to get comfortable, then find the most comfortable position under the circumstances. And then surrender to that. And go through your body. You can scan on your own anytime, from head through shoulders and arms, back and belly, through pelvis and pelvic floor, legs and feet. So I'm demonstrating one other option, which is putting a support between shins. And see if you can, if you're doing this one, see if you can get your shins to be parallel. And lengthen your breath. Press your top hand down. And when you're ready, ease yourself up to sit. So a short practice more often is generally more beneficial than doing a long practice less often. So I encourage you to try this short practice a couple times a week. Maybe a hand on belly, hand on heart to end, settling into your comfortable seat and to your soft, gentle breath. Take a breath that fills your belly, your lower back, then your waist, chest, upper back, and then release that breath through chest, then waist, and then belly. Inhaling low, maybe even down towards your pelvis, belly, waist, chest, exhaling chest, waist, and letting the last bit of breath out through your lower belly, moving towards your spine. Do it again. Dirga pranayam. Belly, waist, chest, back of your body as well as you exhale, upper, middle, and lower. Soften your breath. Recall what you most want to feel in this moment, drinking that in. And breathing out what you are ready to release, making space for renewal, for light, for joy. Thank you so much for joining me. Be well.